Hi. So today was a little bit of a hard day, and I feel sometimes really caught off guard with these kinds of days. They hit me, when I least expect it, and I kind of find myself getting angry and discouraged with myself. Like, why are you feeling like this? Why are you doubting things? I start questioning doctors, situations, days, signs, and yeah, it's hard. But it brought me thinking about signs and signs that we believe are from our loved ones. So I wanted to share a story with you with a time about 2 weeks after Emma passed that I was having a hard day. And I was sitting out here on my porch, right where I am sitting now. And it was nighttime, and all the kids were in bed, and it was just the end of a long and crazy day. And I found myself in a situation that made me feel a little crazy, where I was just looking up at the stars and I was just pleading to God, please, if you're real, if everything that I believe is real, show me, Emma, give me a sign right now. Like, I just need some kind of reassurance that you're okay. This isn't, just a wish that I have in some weird form of grieving, where you believe things that aren't real. And I sat out here for a while and I just stared up at the sky and I thought, please, like a shooting star, a flicker, something, give me something. And I didn't get anything. And I remember that night just walking into the house feeling, pretty defeated and like, you know, maybe God doesn't answer prayers. Maybe this isn't, everything that I wish it would be. And 2 days later, I got a package in the mail, and it was from a woman whom I've never met, a woman who just heard my story and had saw some posts on a mom's page that I follow. And I opened the package and I read the card, and the card was just a pure, genuine, like God-fearing woman pouring out her heart to me. And I was so touched by the card. And I remember just thinking, like, wow, would I reach out to a complete stranger like this just from hearing this, random person's story? And I don't think before this all happened, I would have. And I go to open the package. It was a big manila envelope, like huge, maybe 11 by 14. And I open it up and it's coordinates. And I'm looking and I'm like, what is this? And it was a map of the sky. And I flipped to the next page and it was all the coordinates of Emma's star. And she had purchased a star and named it in honor of Emma. And I'll never forget the feeling that I felt of just pure peace and thankfulness, that reassurance that God heard me that night. He heard me and put something on this woman's heart, a woman who I have never met, a woman who had never knew that I was outside here looking up and praying and wishing upon a star. And I wanted to share that because I believe that we all get signs, and sometimes we're just too hurt and angry and jaded to see them. Today was another hard day, and I woke up like every other day. I felt great. I put the boys in the car. I drove them to my mother's, and I got to work, and all of a sudden it hit me like a wave. And I just felt so unbelievably sad and so much despair and sorrow in questioning why and what if, she was here. And there's somebody, that on my page, on my Facebook, that had the same due date as me, and I had to unfollow just because it hurts me so much to see someone who would be the same age as Emma, and to see smiles and cries and laughs and milestones. And it gives me just that awful motherly pit in my stomach that some days I just can't shake. And today was one of those days. So I got to work, and I sat in my parking lot at work, and I went in probably 15 minutes late because I needed some time. I needed a moment. I needed to cry. I needed to, just pray over it and find my center and find my peace. Well, throughout the day, I just felt pretty lousy and started to feel a little anxious. Like I couldn't keep up with my thoughts. And I got through the work day. I just pushed through. I got home. And I just put the kids to bed, and I sat out here again, find myself in the same situation, just talking to God. And a red, beautiful cardinal just landed right there and just gave me, a little stare and a couple chirps, and to some that may be a coincidence, and to some it may be silly, but to me it was just a sign like, hey, I'm here, I'm with you, I hear you, I feel your pain. And I truly believe that. And if anybody who knows me knows, there have been a few bad days that I've had, not many, but a few. And on those select few, a red cardinal has just sat down in front of me. So I wanted to share that and see where people are with their grief and what they feel with signs that they may get from their loved ones. Some may be dreams, some may be songs, some may be names, but I feel, I do feel that this just sometimes happens. And like I said, it's always when we least expect it. In this loss and grief that I've been feeling, it's so painful at times, but like I've said in my last videos, there is so much peace. And no matter what I've gone through, and people probably think, well, look, Heather, loves God, and she prays and she goes to church, and then look what happened to her. But God never said this life would be easy. It sucks. It's a hard life. But God always promises a rainbow after a storm, and He always promises to be there and to help you get through. And He takes your hand and just truly pulls you through the day. I posted a little quote from a devotional today that my grandmother had sent me. I have the book. I don't read it every morning, depending on how hectic my morning is, but it's just so true that you can, walk through these things. Without God, I don't know how, But with God, it makes the ride a little bit smoother. It makes it a little more bearable, and it brings peace beyond your comprehension. You know, I really, really, really just can't express enough that God has had his hands all over me through this whole experience. You know, even from the moment that I found out that she passed away, I couldn't have found out in a more peaceful way. It wasn't traumatic. I didn't have pain. There was no threat to me or my health. I found out in a way that I truly believe that God knew I could handle and use it to move forward and thrive and touch people. And it's just been amazing to me what he can do. The things that he can do are only possible through him. And no matter what kind of day of, okay, sorry, I got cut off. I got a phone call. But no matter what kind of day I'm having, no matter the questions or the sorrow, the grief that goes through my mind, there is one single thing that remains the same, and that is the love of God and his grace and his comfort and his promises and the things that we can't possibly do or fix or you know, smooth out ourselves. I mean, these things can only be rectified and comforted by God. And I, again, just wanted to share, you know, where I'm at, but I really just want people to share, you know, stories of their loved ones and signs that they believe that they've gotten, because I feel like it's super healing and motivational and inspiring to hear. You know, I just still to this day, I have my days, I get sad, but God knows, man, I love him, and I love the strength and comfort and security that he's provided me through this, through a nightmare, through my worst nightmare. He has brought me to a place where I feel like is only possible with him. And he gives me signs to see that. Yes, I hear you. It may not be the day, it may not be the time, it's not my will, but his. So, you know, it doesn't ever stop, and I believe that with all my heart. So I hope that everybody is having a good week so far, and I hope that people will share. God bless.